It's Yakuza time. Okay. That was fucking stupid. Okay, anyways, I wanted to do this, and I already did this, but I fucked up and didn't record the entire tier list. And there was a couple other things I wanted to do differently anyways, so I'm back from something that no one else saw anyways. So, anyways, I got my fit on. I got the tier list. We're gonna be going through the Yakuza games, and yeah, last time I recorded this shit, it took an hour. I hope it's a little shorter this time, dude. My hair is receding hella. Fuck me. Okay, anyways, let's get back into it. I'm actually gonna move. Yeah, go top right. There we go. Okie dokie. Hopefully there's nothing incriminating on my screen. No. Okay. Perfect. So, really quick, I'm going to be doing this in the order that I played the games, roughly. At least for a good chunk. And then, yeah, that's it. So, jump right into it. I started this series in, I think, 2018 or 2016 or something. I knew about Yakuza 0. It was out for, I think, a little bit. And then Donkey made a video on it, and then so on and so forth. I eventually got to a point, and I was in high school, and I had like a couple days off or something, and I had nothing to do except play video games. So I fucking got Yakuza 0 for the PS4, and like I played it and beat it in like a week, and it was just amazing. I remember I stayed up late the night I beat it. And it was like, I mean, the Yakuza games are kind of notorious for it now, but most RPGs are kind of the same way as well, where, you know, you play the game and it's fairly well paced up until the end, and then it's like just 2 to 3 hours of like straight cutscenes and final bosses, and it gets so fucking hype. I remember Lost Judgment. Well, I'll get to it, but the same thing happened with Lost Judgment, where I played that game and it was already like midnight when it was like the final bit where it's like, hey, do you have a couple hours? You're gonna need a couple hours. Yeah, anyways, so fuck, getting self-conscious of my hair, dude. Anyways, Yakuza 0 was the first game I played. I think its story is one of the strongest in the series. In the mainline series, I think it's the strongest for sure. It's gonna firmly go in S tier. I think the side content's super fun the first time you play it. I think the combat is decent. I thought the combat was great at first until I played the rest of the series, and there's just so much better combat. You know, there's a lot better gameplay in terms of combat in the rest of the series, I think. I think that Zero's combat, a lot of the stances just don't do anything. I fucking don't like the disco dance. I don't like Majima's whole playstyle, to be honest. I had a couple problems with a lot of things. The progression system sucks. You unlock skills that, like, it's like, oh, on your second heat bar, if you're drunk and your enemy is unarmed and you have less than 30% health, you can do this one heat move. And it's like, well, what the fuck? I don't care about unlocking this. Like, I have 50 other heat actions, you know? So, I had some issues with that. But overall, quite a banger. You know, kind of a fucking home run straight off the bat for me. I mean, that's my introduction to the series, and it's that peak. So, anyways, Yakuza 0, definitely in the S. I might move it around in the S, but it's gonna stay in the S. I just realized A and B were flipped. There we go. Cool. So what's next? I think Yakuza Kiwami just came out a month or so after I beat 0 in the West. So I was like, fuck yeah. So Yakuza Kiwami was after that, and I have to say, story, definitely not as strong as 0. I still liked it, but not as strong as 0. But Kiwami's combat is basically 0, but just better. Better, more fleshed out, well-introduced legend combat style, obviously, because it's Kiryu's. I didn't like playing as Majima that much anyways, except for his story. So this game, only focusing on Kiryu, was perfect in my book. I love the Komaki style, that's what his name was, Komaki style bullshit, and all the training you do, and the Majima everywhere for the gameplay, all that shit was great. So Kiwami, I almost want to put it above 0 because Kiwami is the only game I've fully replayed. It's also because it's a little bit shorter, but I will go ahead and place that in S as well. Now, after Kiwami, Kiwami 2 was not available. I think it was out in Japan, or the demo was or something, but it was not available in the West when I was fixing to play it. So I turned to 2 on the PS2. And to my surprise, that shit was pretty fun. It really holds up. I think Yakuza 2 is one of the strongest entries in the series. And this is kind of my first experience with the early gen or the pre-Dragon Engine Kiryu combat, sort of. Like Yakuza 1 through basically 0, all the in Kiwami included. All the combat in the pre-Dragon Engine games is, I think, phenomenal. I think, you know, it varies, but I think most of them are really good. And Dragon Engines definitely can have some fun combat for sure, and I'll get to that, but I think overall it dips pretty low and it dips pretty high, but it's a pretty solid high the entire time on pre-Dragon Engine. So Yakuza 2 for the PS2. I think the story for the first playthrough, it kind of fools you into thinking it's good, and then it's like well written. It's because there's a lot of character moments. There's a lot of like good emotion. Kiryu and the inspector bitch, what's her name? She's not a bitch, but she's hot. And Sayama. Yeah, her and Kiryu kind of have like a little bit of romance. I mean, a lot, they kiss, but as far as like chemistry, you know, whatever. It's there, I guess. But it's pretty good. It's really good. And the atmosphere is great. The music's great. You know, I could talk about that one scene getting remade in Kiwami, but I won't. But Yakuza 2 is great. The gameplay is fucking amazing. I think Yakuza 2 has the best combat in the series, next to another game. I'll just say Lost Judgment, but I'll get to that way later. I think Yakuza 2 has the best combat in the series next to Lost Judgment, and I'm not afraid to say that, because it really is that strong for me. It's almost like a Batman Arkham sort of free-flowing combat, but with the slickness and impact of the Yakuza series, and just a fuck ton of heat actions, like a lot of environmental heat actions, which is what I love and what I expected out of this series going forward. And now it's, you know, not really like that anymore, unfortunately. So anyways, Yakuza 2, this is going to go firmly in S. I'm not actually going to try to saturate everything in S. It's just that my introduction to the series was super strong. So take that what you may. Okay, so that is the beginning stretch done. I tried to get that out as quick as I could. After this, it gets a little ambiguous what I played next exactly. I believe I tried to play Yakuza 3 on the PS3, but I didn't finish it. I didn't get that far into it because the frame rate was just cheeks, and I just lost interest, I guess. So I'm going to put Yakuza 3 into Never Played, and along that, in that same breath, I'm just going to put everything in Never Played that I haven't played yet, including Yakuza 4, which I never played on the original hardware. Yakuza Dead Souls, which I did play a little bit, but I didn't beat it. Same with Black Panther, although I really, really enjoyed what I played of Black Panther. On the, the PSP. I played on the PS Vita, but still. Black Panther 2, haven't played that. I'm planning to play those eventually, I think, but I really enjoyed Black Panther so far. In terms of the story, it's, you know, it's pretty gripping. I like the characters a lot. I like the atmosphere. I like that it's really just a bite-sized Yakuza on the go, which I think is really interesting. So I'm excited. I do want to beat it at some point. Kenzen I've never played, although I am planning to play that at some point. I've heard it's better than Ishin story-wise, and obviously it wasn't localized. I'm trying to learn Japanese, so at some point maybe I'll play it. Same deal with 1 and 2, HD edition. I haven't played fucking this because it's not localized, even though this would be the best way to play 1 and 2, but for some reason they don't want to, you know, honor that. So whatever. Yakuza 1 PS2, again, I'm planning to play it at some point. I just haven't beaten my replay of Yakuza 2 yet. So Ishin, I haven't played. Put both those in there. I did play the Ishin remake a little bit, but I really fell off of it. I think the combat is just really turned me off, and a lot of the mechanics it was like setting up is like, hey, you're gonna spend 60 hours doing this with like the crafting bullshit, and I was like, oh god, I don't know, I'm not into that. Original Yakuza 5 haven't played, and let's see, online MMO whatever the fuck, haven't played that bullshit. Japanese Lost Judgment or Judgment whatever, Streets of Cam Roadshow, I think that's like a freebie they made. I don't know. Kaido Files I actually haven't played, which I actually probably should play. And Yakuza 0. Fuck Yakuza 0. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I looked up the cutscenes for that, and most of them ruined the game. Some of them are just inoffensive. English dubs, take it or leave it. Multiplayer, great, I don't care. So, I mean, shit was cut for a reason, okay? Anyways, so that's all the shit I haven't played, just to get it off the table. Let's go with after Kiwami, after 2. I'm pretty sure I dove straight into playing the. I'll do Kiwami 2 because I know I played 3, 4, and 5 back to back, but I don't know when I played Kiwami 2. So let's talk about Kiwami 2. Kiwami 2 is gonna go in. I'm trying to think what. Kiwami 2 goes in B tier. I'm okay with that. And I want to say, just get it off the bat, Kiwami 2 is a great game. Unfortunately, the EXP system sucks. So I want a really quick side tangent, even though I haven't got that far anyways. Really quick side tangent. The EXP system throughout the series, it gets worse and worse, basically. I think nowadays it's fine, but the 0 and Kiwami 1 EXP system kind of sucks. And the 6 Kiwami 2, I want to say that's it, I think. I don't think Lost Judgment had it. Judgment series has their own EXP system. But 6 and Kiwami 2 have the eating bullshit, which sucks. It just fucking sucks. Because all you end up doing is running around to different restaurants, eating the most expensive meal, that you have a shit ton of money, that it's no problem to eat, and then running around, getting into fights until your hunger bar degrades by 30 out of 100, going back to the restaurant, eating the crab, going back out in the street, getting into fights. Like, it's fun in a sense that, like, you can kind of do that right at the beginning of the game and get, like, super overpowered. But that also takes fun out of the entire rest of the story. And it's just not, like, on repeat playthroughs, you're not going to be like, oh, I can't wait to do that bullshit again. Like, it's not fun at all. I liked the EXP system of 1 and 2, even though I didn't play 1. I know it's the same, where, you know, you get into fights, heat actions at the end of fights give you more XP, weapon breaking gives you more XP, the story gives you a shit ton of XP, some side missions give you a lot of XP, you use the XP on individual, like, categories, and then you just level those up, and then you get moves and stuff from that. It really disincentivizes, and also random encounters are locked. I think this is only 1 and 2 that do it, but you can only do random encounters for a certain amount each chapter, and I think and then towards the end of the game they get, you know, unlocked and you can do infinite. But anyways, that's a side tangent. Yakuza 3 also uses the same system. Yakuza 3 is basically 1, 2, and 3 are actually super similar in a lot of aspects. 3 just happens to be on the PS2 or PS3. But anyways, so Yakuza 2 has a shitty EXP system. It has a shittier graphics, great. Gameplay's because it's the Dragon engine, but they took what was working in 6 and then they fixed some things, made some things worse. So it plays worse than 6, despite 6 having fucking attacks bouncing off of blocks and shit. The story is fine, it's the same as Yakuza 2, except that they fucked up the tone and atmosphere by changing some music. They added a big fucking knife stabbing sound to the iconic, like, bridge stab scene, which is mind-boggling, dude. And just some other shit, I don't know. It had a weird green filter as well. It's a good game, but compared to the Yakuza 2 combat, going from Yakuza 2 combat to, honestly, some of the worst combat in the series, it's like, it really sucks looking back on it now, especially because I played it after playing Yakuza 2. So I was like, oh, this is rancid. But anyways, so that's why it's in B. It's still pretty good. I had a lot of fun the first time, but it's not up there, you know? Right, okay, so that takes us to the 3, 4, and 5, which all came out in the remastered series collection. I'm trying to go faster, because again, last time I did this, it took like a fucking hour to get any of this done. I actually like that video a lot, but whatever. Okay, so Yakuza 3 remastered. Let me just say that if there's any argument if these games are better on the original console or the remake, the remaster, there's legitimately no difference between the original and the remaster, except I think they add some content back in for 3, which is a plus. They changed some of the actors, which were either too expensive or involved in like drugs or something, like Tanimura in 4, and probably some background guy in 5. I don't even know. But there's no difference. The games just upgraded to 60 FPS, increased resolution, plays better. I think 3, the combat's a little more fucked because of the frame rate increase. I think the enemies block a lot more, which is where it gets its reputation from. But even with that, I think I played on hard, and I was still fine. And I didn't really have a big issue with 3, and a lot of people do. I love 3. I think 3 is great. I think based on the atmosphere alone, not that I'm going to put it there, but on the atmosphere alone, I would say 3 is an S plus. 3 feels like a game on the Dreamcast truck that like fell off and was put back on in 2008 or whatever the fuck it came out. Like 3, you get into it, and it's this Okinawan like blue skies, green trees, bright bleached blue Frutiger arrow type fucking buzzword bullshit, and it's just really nice. It's a really nice. There's always that part early on in a Yakuza game where you're just playing the side quests. You get most of the beginner story out of the way. You're on like chapter 3 or 4, and you have like legit 20 or 30 fucking submissions to do. And it's just peak, and you're just running around doing different shit and getting into fights and stuff and kind of leveling up a little bit. It's awesome. I fucking love the Yakuza games for that. So Yakuza 3, atmosphere alone, S+. I truly love it. I love the entire beginning half of the game. Honestly, once you get to Kamurocho, I kind of forget a lot of shit. I know the ending is pretty good. Mine's a good character. Riki has a good character, you know. Kashiwagi dies, but not really. It's a really good game, and I think the combat's pretty good too. Once you get Komaki abilities, I think the combat really takes off, and I don't think people really give it a good I don't know. I don't give it a good try and they just write it off basically. I'm just gonna move 6 over here because it's bugging the shit out of me. Judgment came out after 6 as well, and then this is all in order. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that took a while, but 3, having said all that, I'm gonna put it in the A. I fucking love 3, but just compared to what's gonna come after, I don't want to put it in an S, just because getting on with it, 4 I think is so much fucking fun. 4 feels like they didn't want to put Kiryu in the game, and I'm pretty sure that's true, and then they had to at the very last minute, because Kiryu is the last character you play as. He doesn't really even have his own town, or like his own like thing. He just goes from Okinawa to Kamurocho, and then the game ends. And the other characters are just so strong. Akiyama's introduction, he's the first character you play as in the game. His introduction is just amazing. You get like this midnight like blue glow of Tokyo, and he's like walking in the rain, and he's such a charismatic guy, so different to Kiryu. And his entire part of the game is awesome. The combat is great. It's like a streamlined 3. It's very quick. The upgrade system's great. It's orbs now instead of like XP. You can actually pick what you want to get, which is revolutionary in the series. It's just great. It's a really fucking good game. And the story completely sucks. Like, the story is ass cheeks. It's nonsensical as fuck. I think the ending, they legit in this game go, oh yeah, we need to fight each other because we need to fight each other. And they're like, okay, fuck it, let's do it. Take our shirts off. But just because of the strong introduction and the combat and the progression system, I want to put this one above 3 on the A level. Also, I think the vertical levels of Kamurocho is fun. I think the chasing system is fun. Just a good time overall. 5. 5 is going to go... I don't know if I should put it there or kind of talk about it, because I feel like I was going to put 4 in S before I started talking about it. And then I was like, you know what? Put it in A. So 5, you start off as Kiryu in what is probably like my most memorable, like, favorite section of the Yakuza series, or one of them, I guess. It's Kiryu in Fukuoka, I believe, and your part-time, you know, or not. It's not Kiryu. It's whatever the fuck his fake name is or whatever. But you are basically playing as like a taxi driver, and you're sending money to the kids, and you're on the run again, whatever. But the taxi driver minigame, this is where everything gets kind of like a structured side content story as well. So Kiryu has this taxi driver stuff where he basically plays as like fucking tofu driver, like drifting extravaganza. And Saejima has the hunting minigame. Haruka's entire battle system is a minigame, basically. Akiyama, I don't think, has anything. And then Shinada has his baseball bat home run hitting bullshit. And I like Saejima's side content as well. I think Kiryu's is the strongest. I think, unfortunately for 5, Kiryu is the strongest part of the game, because Akiyama is shafted to sharing half of a town with Haruka. And Saejima is... Saejima is good, but he has like a long prison break, and then he gets to... I don't know what the town's called, but it's in Sapporo, I'm pretty sure. It's like a snowy, like, dope little town. Shinada's in a cool town. I forget what town he's even in, but he's in a cool town too. I like the different towns in 5, and I love the combat in 5, and I think the progression system is just like 4, but even better. I think it's a little more fleshed out, and there's more stuff to unlock. And the story is actually pretty good. I think the story's pretty good. Unfortunately, there's that one spot kind of towards the end where it's like, well, there's no one here else to fight. You're going to fight me, Kiryu. And it's like, okay, sure. But Kiryu dying basically in the blood, in the snow, that's all good stuff. 5, I want to put in the top of A. I might change it to S. NGL. No, I'm not, because if I was going to say that Yakuza 3 was an S plus for atmosphere and locale and everything, then I'm going to say that Yakuza 6 is an S, just because of the atmosphere and vibe, and also because the story is great. I think the combat is even great. I disagree with people who say that the combat sucks. You lose a lot of heat actions, which, spoiler alert, not spoiler alert, but you lose a lot of heat actions, which people actually cared about back in the day. Nowadays, they remove more and more, and people are like, oh my god, yes, fuck the heat actions. Not everyone's like that, but for some reason, RGG is just taking away more and more heat actions, and people don't really care. Because, oh, you can play as a pirate, and this game's so silly and goofy, and I'm a Redditor, you know? So, I'll get the fucking pirate Yakuza, no way. Anyways, 6, I put it in S. I don't think it's above Kiwami, I don't think it's above 0 and 2. I think the story is really good. There's a lot of memorable characters. You got the fucking mommy bartender, Kiyomi, I want to say her name is. Could have that wrong. You have the entire Yakuza family that's in Onomichi, which I think is in Hiroshima. Or Naga. Not Naga. I only know 2 cities. I think it's in Hiroshima. Where the fuck? I'm going to look it up. Oh, Onomichi. Oh, it's a real place. Hiroshima. Okay. For some reason, I knew IK. Listen. I knew at one point it was a real place, but I forgot. Anyways, Onomichi is in Hiroshima, and it's like, it's not the same thing as Okinawa, but it's sort of similar in the sense that it's like Kiryun kind of like as like a fish out of water in this like really cozy, sleepy town. So the vibes are just great there. The combat, pretty fun. They did away with the heat bar, they introduced they did away with the heat bar, but they introduced the extreme heat mode. So now heat actions are kind of incorporated into your regular combat. And also you can do stuff like throwing people in the corners and like doing crushing in the corners and a lot of environmental stuff. And you can still do heat actions. It's incorporated with the extreme heat mode. But a lot of really fun stuff. This started the trend, unfortunately, for this and Kwami 2 with the shitty fucking eating bullshit experience system, which I still think doesn't work out that well. They want you to do the Rezap gym training thing in Yakuza 6 to train and level up outside of the story XP. That sucks because you get way more for eating, and it's way less repetitive to just eat and then go play the actual game and play combat and stuff and then go back and eat more, as opposed to doing like fucking a billion squats and shit in the gym. But it was a promotion thing, so whatever. But so that part kind of sucks. But I really like the story. I think the story is great. A lot of great twists and turns. It's pretty emotional, pretty personal too. A lot of stakes towards the end as well. Seeing Akiyama as well, like Akiyama's like in it. He's like a pretty solid part of it. Obviously Shinonada's gone, Tanimoto's gone. Majima's kind of side. I don't know what the term is. He's put to the side. But Akiyama's a pretty big part of it. And they have the whole tower raid where you all come back to Kamurocho in black suits, dude. Oh, that shit was peak. But the town's great. And the one big thing I'm fucking bearing the lead on is that every single sub-story in that game is fully voiced. So you don't have as many, and you unfortunately have the clan creator bullshit taking up some of it. But they only did it for this game because this was supposed to be Kiryu's big send-off game, and they kept the subtitle to The Song of Life. But actually, I'm not sure if they kept that or that's a new one. But anyways, Yakuza 6, fully voiced sub-stories. It kind of makes it feel like when I was playing it and I was doing all these sub-stories and I was like, wow, I'm actually really invested in these and they're pretty unique and fun. And I was playing the Girl Who Leapt Through Time sub-story parody one. And I was like, wow, that's like, I literally just played like a little movie. I know it's based off of a movie, but I literally just played like a little version of that movie in Yakuza, and it just felt amazing. And of course you have like the train tracks, like the sunset orange vibe of Onomichi. Dude, it's a good time. It's a really good time. Seeing Kamurocho in Dragon Engine 2 is like, especially for the first time, it's like, this is crazy. This is so detailed. It's a really fun game. It already went in the S. I'm going to stop talking about it. But it's great. And I believe it's one of the first... No, not one of the first ones, but when it came on PC, it was pretty notable. Okie dokie. So I'm going to go through, as a little detour, I'm going to go through the Judgment games, and then I'll get to the rest of the main lines. Judgment 1, this is a Dragon Engine beat-em-up with an entirely different set of characters, still in the world of Yakuza, so you still have name drops like the Tojo clan and stuff like that, but no characters show up in between in at least Judgment. I'm like 99% sure. I know Lost Judgment has a little cameo, but Judgment I'm pretty sure is completely separate. Judgment is an amazing story with some really great writing and some genuinely like amazing mystery elements. It gets a little off the road towards the end, but it really doesn't harm the overall experience. I think the combat's pretty good. It's not like amazing, but it's pretty darn good. 2 stances, and Yagami has, I think that's his name. Yagami has like wall jumping and people jumping, and he has like all this different shit. His XP system is actually fine and actually works well. And man, dude, just the story is great. I think for a first playthrough, this is a phenomenal game. There's a lot of tailing missions and some boring shit that you're not going to want to wade through. But overall, it's a pretty fucking good game. And I would say this is above Yakuza 6 for sure. And then I'm going to talk about Lost Judgment, Not Like a Dragon. Well, I'll talk about Like a Dragon, I guess, because I think it kind of makes sense to do it in sort of release, because that's the point I played them. Past Yakuza Kiwami, which is my second game in the series, I was playing them as they came out, basically. I remember when the remastered trilogy came out, I played all of those as they came out, and then I played 6 right after. I don't think I took a break playing these games, to be honest, because, you know, it was a year in between games anyways. Okay, so, Yakuza Like a Dragon. This is the RPG, turn-based, Yakuza 7. Man, phenomenal story and phenomenal set of characters, and the gameplay just fucking sucks. I remember hating playing this game and dreading playing more of it. Not that it would stop me, but I was genuinely dreading like bosses and, you know, dungeons and stuff like that, because I knew if I got stuck playing it, I would be so fucking pissed, because I just wanted to play it for the story, because the story is that good. I think the story is on par with Judgment 1, maybe even better. It's an entirely new set of, it's so good, and the gameplay is so boring and so mundane, and things are so out of your control. That's the one thing I fucking hate about turn-based games. It's all out of your control. Like, I don't know, like, oh, if I'm gonna fight a boss, I'm used to the Dark Souls types of games where it's like, if I fight a boss and I don't take any damage or I die, it's completely up to me. Like, it's up to my fault. I could either take no damage, beat this boss easily, or I could die, and it just depends on me. Turn-based games don't really give you that option. They go, you're gonna take hits, you're gonna have to take hits, some of your party members are gonna die, you're gonna have to choose when and where to revive them, you have to use items and shit. It's so much decision making that I am not fucking well equipped for. So luckily, Yakuza Like a Dragon, thankfully so, is on the easier side as far as RPGs go. I know the ending boss fight was probably the toughest, with the one guy that you're supposed to kill before you get to the final boss, which is more like a QTE basically. And that was the only real roadblock. I didn't do any of the bullshit True Millennium Tower. Yeah, fuck that stuff. Anyways, fun game. It is still a fun game. I think the combat was fun for at least 5 hours out of the 60 that you play it for. And the story and characters really just fucking carry it the entire way. But it's a really fun game. I don't know where to put it, to be honest, because I do enjoy Judgment and Yakuza 6 way more than playing Like a Dragon. But Like a Dragon's story is so good that it's genuinely like a must play, and I do like love, I fondly remember the time playing it. I think I'll put it, oh dude, this is tough actually. I really enjoyed it. I'll put it above 3, 4, and 5. I'd say that's fair. I'd say I'd rather play Yakuza 6 again than Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I'd honestly probably rather play 3, 4, or 5 over Like a Dragon, but to put any of those games above Like a Dragon would just do such a disservice to its story. I mean, the story is so fucking good, dude. It's so good. Right. So Like a Dragon, that game gives you a new town, by the way. A new main town, Yokohama. So you do start in Kabukicho or Kamurocho, but you do go to a new town, Yokohama. And it's a new town, entirely new to Like a Dragon. So there's no brawler combat in Yokohama. So it's like, holy fuck, it's the first time in the series. Well, it's the first time in the series we've had brawler combat, obviously, but definitely the first time in the series we've had, you know, a town which has never been played in brawler combat. Anyways, Lost Judgment comes along and says, hey, I could put brawler combat in that. And they do, and then they do awesome. Lost Judgment's story, I think, the problem with Lost Judgment compared to Judgment, which some people debate, is that the story in Lost Judgment is not as good as story in Lost Judgment is not as good as Judgment, and I think definitely subjective. I think the story in Lost Judgment is pretty good. I think it's pretty comparable to Judgment. It's definitely a less convoluted and more straightforward, and it's less personal overall. The story in Judgment is very personal to Yagami's character. I think they're doing a good thing by not reintroducing stuff for the writers to make more personal. You know what I'm saying? Like, They could have easily introduced a character in Lost Judgment and say, hey, this person was a part of Yagami's past, and now he's back to do evil or whatever. But that kind of cheapens things, you know? That's why, this is completely a side tangent, that's why One Piece works so well. It's because everything is introduced for the most part at some point in the story. And then later on, it's decided whether it gets brought up again. And if it is, you at least go, oh, I remember hearing about that 400 episodes ago. It's not cheap. It's not out of nowhere. It's well introduced, or at least introduced, period, in terms of One Piece. Anyways, Lost Judgment. I think the story is fucking great. I think the story is really good. I think the antagonist is really good. I think it's still very emotional. And both of the games actually deal with real issues in Japan. A lot of the series does in general. But Judgment deals with the conviction rate, or the guilty rate, or there's a legal term for it. But Judgment deals with that being like 99% in Japan. Like, no one really gets off in Japan, even when they should. And it deals with that. And Lost Judgment deals with like bullying, and how like innocuous bullying can lead down this like super dark path, basically. And the antagonist, you know, spoilers, the antagonist basically is this guy who goes around killing high school bullies. Not just high school bullies, but people who are driving classmates to suicide, essentially. And at the end, you kind of just let him walk away. You don't like let him, but he just does. Because he's like, you can't even say I'm wrong. Like, really. Yagami does, but most of his crew is like, dude, honestly, we can't even fucking say that this guy's like an asshole. Like, he's literally just killing people who would willingly and gladly drive others to suicide. So, it's a big question. And I think the finale is great. Remember earlier in the fucking video, like 30 minutes ago, when I was saying that these games are best enjoyed at 1 a.m., way past your bedtime, when you're trying to finish it up, and then it reintroduces the fucking, hey, you got 3 hours left, and it's all cutscenes, you know? So I think that's the best way to enjoy it, but that finale's awesome. Music's awesome. Combat system is so good. If I wasn't trying to be a contrarian, I would say Lost Judgment has the best combat of the series, because the snake form is so good, and they fucking made the bird and the tiger form even better. And Judgment combat is just so fun, and everything just works so well. The boxing content minigame, the school stories, sub-stories, everything is so good in this. I still think Yagami, whatever, is kind of a whatever character. I mean, he's cool, I guess, and I like playing as him, but, you know, he's about as charismatic as Kiryu, but minus, you know, all the fucking aura that Kiryu has, basically. Lost Judgment, I'm putting it above Yakuza 2. I think it's the peak of the series for me, and this is different from how I did it last video too. But honestly, thinking about it, man, Lost Judgment is fucking good. It is really fucking good. I would say Yakuza 2 and Lost Judgment could probably trade blows. I don't think either one is better than the other. But if I was to say a more modern game, more easily accessible, more probable that I would replay it, even though I am currently replaying Yakuza 2, Lost Judgment. So after this, honestly, the series kind of takes a backseat for a minute. I remember I played Lost Judgment, and then I think Ishin came out after that, and it was basically like a year without Yakuza, because I was like, well, I'm not fucking playing Ishin, after I played it for a little bit, and I was like, yeah, this is dookie. I don't think it's actually dookie. I just dropped it, haven't got back to it. I'm probably not gonna get back to it either. I do want to play Kenzan again, like I said. Anyways, for me, this was a significant period of like, there's nothing coming out that I would like, really. And then The Man Who Erased His Name, Like a Dragon Gaiden 2, Street Fighter Deluxe 3 featuring Dante. This game came out right before Infinite Wealth, as like a way to sort of bridge the gap from 6 to Infinite Wealth for Kiryu. It's a really good game. It's a really good game. I think that it is more fun to play than Like a Dragon. I think the gameplay is very strong. Agent style, little hit or miss. But I thought it was kind of a quirky thing, kind of a one-off gimmick, not something they're going to lean into later. And they did. But the story's fun. It's fun to see Kiryu doing Yakuza stuff for once. Kind of enjoy it as a like way to say goodbye. I think it taking place only in Sotenbori is fun. I'm glad he doesn't go to Kamurocho. A lot of good moments, a lot of peak scenes, just a lot of good stuff all around, honestly. The ending's phenomenal. If you haven't seen or been a part of this fandom or whatever, to get to the ending point of the man who erased his name, dude, it's good. It's really good. I'm not sure where to put it, to be honest. I don't want to keep putting everything in S. I actually really enjoyed Man Who Erased His Name. I'm going to put it at the top, if I can put it there. Oh my god. There we go. No. I can't do that. I can't stress this enough. Like a Dragon is only in the A tier because I don't fucking like RPGs. And from the fact that I don't fucking like RPGs and it's still that high up, that should tell you how good the story is. I mean, the story is legitimately good. I'm not saying watch a video on YouTube, because you need the time put in the game to get acclimated and to, get attached to the characters and whatever. But I like the story of Like a Dragon Gaiden. It's a very short game, which is great for me. Low attention span, and the combat's fun. But I wouldn't put it above Like a Dragon because it's got one really good emotional scene, basically, towards the end. Yep. Okay, anyways, 2 left. I don't really want to check how long the video is already. We have Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Now, this is the next one. It just came out, I think, just a couple months after Like a Dragon Gaiden. And this one's a doozy. I don't want to get too long on this one, but this one's a doozy. If Like a Dragon, Yakuza Like a Dragon, for all I've said about it, that it's got an amazing story, and I don't fucking like the gameplay, I fucking really like the gameplay of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I think moving and using the environment and pushing enemies into others, I think just those things alone add a huge amount of complexity and enjoyment to the combat system in Infinite Wealth. Obviously, this is the first time Hawaii is introduced as a playable area, and I think it's pretty cool. I don't think it's that, I play the games to go to Japan virtually. I don't play them to go to American cities, but Hawaii is still pretty exotic to me. So, I mean, it kind of works in that sense. Characters are great. The graphics are great. It's definitely a really good Kiryu send-off game. I think it's going to stick to it. I'm not even saying, like, oh, they're going to bring him back again. He's probably gone after this one, at least from a playable character standpoint. A lot of fun fan servicey stuff, a lot of self-referential stuff, a lot of stuff like that. So what's the bad part about it? Well, the bad part is that the story is actually fucking bad. So bad that I was legitimately kind of upset with playing a Yakuza game for the first time ever. I was kind of upset, and I went, wow, this is actually not great. At least the story. And I put 90 hours, I think, into Infinite Wealth. Like, the first week or 2 it came out, like, I was hyped for this game, and I was still hyped playing it because it was so fun. And a lot of there's still some great story beats, and you want to find out what's happening to Kiryu, you want to find out what's happening to Ichiban's mom, and unfortunately, the payoffs are either just vague or like not really like given enough attention. And there's just so many parts in the game where it's like, this is very rushed. Like, this is very rushed. This is not how I wanted this to happen. Ichiban meeting his mom, who looks like a fucking NPC background character, because RGG has no idea how to model Westerners still. Man, that was a letdown. Kiryu's fucking flip-floppy agency that either keeps him on the chain and keeps no one seeing him, or lets him do whatever the fuck he wants without any repercussions, and his cancer that came up from playing around with radioactive barrels, I guess. I didn't know why I quoted it. It was radioactive barrels, but it's pretty weird. And sort of the whole story of, displaced criminal... Well, this part is like not a bad thing, but the displaced criminal people in Japan having such a tough time finding jobs and working that they would rather go to a fucking radioactive island and shovel nuclear waste into a giant pit. And of course, Kiryu being a part of that not doing the same exact thing, but basically doing the same thing somewhere else, and then, getting cancer because of it. And, that part is whatever. They could have just said that Kiryu smoking cigarettes gave him cancer for, fucking because he chain smoked cigs like his whole life, and he's like 60, 70 now, and he's, now he has cancer because of that. They could have just said that, but instead they had to make it like, oh, this is something that just happened. This is a twist. Whatever. A lot of issues with the story. I think Kiryu's side of the story is fine for the most part. I think there's some hype stuff early on. I think Ichiban unfortunately just gets so shafted in this game, dude, in comparison to Kiryu, which sucks because they set him up in 7 to be the new series lead, and then in Infinite Wealth he gets immediately fucking shafted. He gets immediately fucking overshadowed by Kiryu, and he's just, it's so weird. Yakuza Like a Dragon places Kiryu in sort of this mythical underground legend role, which it nails. Like, it does a great job of doing it. He's like this guy that shows up when you least expect it and has all the answers and knows everything, and he's not going to tell you, and he's a very mysterious guy who's basically invincible. And it's like, wow, okay, that's great. That's the Kiryu that I played as. Like, that makes sense. And if he stays like that, that'd be awesome. And then all of a sudden in 8, he's like basically a pal, and he's just hanging around the party, and Ichiban's like, wow, Kiryu, you're so awesome, blah, 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 you're amazing. And yet in 7, I think Ichiban respects Kiryu, but he's not like sucking his dick every 5 seconds. And in 8, it just felt like they turned everyone's characterizations off to fucking make them revere and love Kiryu, because guys, he's the character's, he's the series protagonist, we have to do him justice. And it's like, there's ways to do a character justice in a series without glazing them every fucking second you can get. A lot of things fell off in 8. Again, the Kiryu stuff is good. The remembrances are good. The way the combat progresses and you unlock like actual like fighting moves as Kiryu, like not just like the special skills or heat actions or whatever, but genuinely like you unlock like your quick attack or your normal attack combo goes up or like evolves as Kiryu when you do more of the side content remembrance stuff. Like, there's so many good things about the game that I fucking loved playing it. Like, I really loved playing it. But at a certain point, I wasn't playing it for the story. I was playing to get the story over with, because I played my fill, like 80 hours in the game and the combat, and it was still fun. But I was like, bro, I'm over this. Ending's a big letdown for Ichiban. I think Kiryu, I would be so happy if they just let him have a peaceful life after this. He's already got cancer. All of his kids moved out already. It's just like, let him fucking go back to his little orphanage and do nothing, dude. Like, please. I'm saying that because I love Kiryu, and obviously I love Kiryu, but bro, let that be his final game, because it's legitimately hurt in the series. Infinite Wealth, it's so fun. It really is very fun, but because it is maybe the first time in the series I was playing a Yakuza game, besides Ishin, doesn't count, but it was the first time in the series I was playing a Yakuza game, and I was towards the end, and I was like, let this be over with. Like, not even like anything else, but let this be over with. Yeah. Based on that, I'll put it in a high B, but trust me, it's a really fun game. And then we get to the last one, and I don't even want to fucking rank this as C. I think it's too high. I think this game is a fucking travesty, and I really fucking detest it, because it shows not only in of itself like being kind of a shittier game, I think, and having an off tone and being so wacky and goofy and blah blah blah, but it shows that the series is kind of declining. And with something that could be sort of just like an off chance bump or off chance decline with Infinite Wealth, just like, oh, they can't keep making golden eggs forever, turning from oh, it's gonna go back up, oh shit. Now we're at Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and it's still got a lot of the problems with tone and graphics, honestly, and everything else as Like a Dragon does. And it's just like, fuck, it's kind of confirming it. The combat in Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is good, Playing as Majima with just the knife, very fun. Actually, really fun. Playing as Majima in the pirate form is so fucking bad, and I would like anyone to explain to me how it's fun. I don't think any of the moves are fun. I think everything comes out extremely slow. You feel extremely sluggish. A lot of the enemies you fight in the pirate part of the game have way too much health. There's way too many of them. They do too much damage. It just becomes like a really obnoxious, not even Dynasty Warriors, but just a really obnoxious Muso light sort of experience. A lot of his moves just don't do shit. It's just not fun. It's not fun. If Assassin's Creed Black Flag in 2012 is able to accomplish seamless, not seamless maybe, but pretty seamless, like hijacking and boarding and all this other stuff, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, in contrast, makes it seem like you're just doing... I'm not sure what it is with Japanese developers that they need to make every different section of the game like its own different thing. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to explain this, but I don't really know what it is in the first place. It's like Japanese developers need to make sure that every player knows that every different section of the game is different. Like, there's going to be no similarity. I mean, there is, but there's going to be controls listed. There's going to be a tutorial before every different section. They can't just let a player go and experience something for the first time and go into this different thing that's gameplay adjacent and expect to know it. You know, like, I don't know if this is making sense, but it's like, that's how I felt. That's how I felt while playing it. I'm not able to articulate it maybe as good as I'd like to, but man, it just sucks. It's not good. The story is fine. It's pretty bad. I liked some of the characters, all of the American or the United States characters, all of the Western characters. They have weird, low detail, like sub-story type appearances. Just not great. Tone of the game's off. I don't give a fuck about how wacky they are. When it gets a little serious, like with Majima getting tortured, or towards the end of the game, I guess it gets a little better. But it's just not great overall. If there are two saving graces of the game, it is well, I just realized it's two cutscenes, basically. It's two separate cutscenes. So that's not a good indicator. There is the cutscene right towards the start with the musical number, sort of starting off the pirate's journey. I think that is great. I think that is a great fucking cutscene. And that got me hyped. And I was actually enjoying the game when that shit was brought up. And the cutscene at the very end, the post-credits scene that I guess the guiding games are doing nowadays is basically make the whole game filler except for one cutscene at the very end where it kind of ties it all back and makes it... No, that's not true. Because I really liked, the man who erased his name. But Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii can fuck right off, dude. There is one cutscene in Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii that ties in with the rest of the series, mostly, and it's at the very end when him and Saejima are back in Japan, back in their regular fucking attire, going to visit Kiryu in the hospital. And it's genuinely good, and I'm probably gonna watch it after this, but it's a genuinely good cutscene with good writing, serious tone. Like, dude, it's like, dude, I know it's hard to do this shit well, but can you just do that for an entire game? Like, can you just make a game good like that and stop just making fucking puns and doing all this bullshit pirate? It pisses me off. It pisses me off because, like, you get into a game series or anything really. Let's not even restrict it to games. You get into anything when someone is doing what they like and doing it well and doing it for themselves / a core fan base, and you get into it and you go, this is good. I like this, what you're doing right here. And inevitably, the creator is going to go, oh, we have all these new fans. Wow, we got to start appealing to them and adding more stuff into our thing. And now you have this conglomeration of all this different shit and all this different, themes and whatever, trying to appeal to all these different fans, when the reason why you were attracted to the fucking game or series or whatever, book or movie in the first place is because they were doing it for their core fan base, or like the things they were doing right. Yakuza 0 is so fucking good because the main story goes from serious to heartbreaking to emotional to mysterious. I'm not even sure that's a good descriptor. To whatever else. It's just a genuinely good story. Obviously with some lighthearted moments and whatever else. It goes from that to the subquests being fucking ridiculous some of the time, and emotionally devastating some of the other times, and just whatever some of the other times. And it balances it extremely well. That is the entire poll. That is what 1 million reviewers have said about the Yakuza series, is that they can flip-flop between the tone great, and it somehow doesn't make it feel like a cheap or shitty experience. For the game series to sort of gravitate towards just being wacky overall instead of playing to its strengths and delivering great character-driven emotional moments, it's just indicative of the people who are making it don't know like why they're making, or like don't know like why they're making it, or aren't really making it for themselves. Like it's hard to explain, but it just feels like they're focusing less and less on delivering a good story that sometimes has these other great features, and they're focusing more on making these moments that are like, whoa, they're going to make memes about this, and then our game's going to get even more popular now because they're making memes about this. Let's go and try to put memes into our stories. I liked the Diaper Baby side quest in Infinite Wealth. I did. Did I realize at the exact same time that I was enjoying it, that they were doing it because it was popular in Like a Dragon 1 or Yakuza Like a Dragon? Yeah, I did. Did it feel cheap because of that? Yeah, it did. And there's a bunch of other ones that are like that, where it's like, you're really trying to make this work, aren't you? And unfortunately, it makes it work less. So, yeah. Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is like a game full of that, which I hate from the series, which only really started recently. So, just going from such high highs to Infinite Wealth and going, ooh, hopefully this is just a misstep. And then Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii comes out and you go, wow, we were on the wrong fucking road. That's what it feels like. So that's my tier list. Not to end super duper negative, I think outputting this many games and having them be incredible is awesome. Yakuza for me was always this series that I would watch like some gameplay online from like some Japanese like YouTuber and be like, oh, this is one of those like super hard to get into series, and like there's 300-hour games and I'm never gonna play that. And then finally going, you know what, they made Zero, looks to be a good spot to play it, fuck it. And then falling in love with the rest of the series, it just kind of sucks. It kind of hurts to go from that to being a fan of the series as they're coming out and going, wow, I like this series because of the reasons I like it. And it feels like they're almost trying to appeal to me because I'm a Westerner, and it's making the series worse. It's like I almost feel like shit for liking this series and ruining it, But on the same breath, if Yakuza 0 didn't come to PC and the game didn't get most of its Western fan base, then the series may not even be still around nowadays, and we wouldn't have gotten Lost Judgment. So, with all that said, thank you RGG Studios for this amazing series. And I don't think the new director or any of the new team is doing it bad. I think they've been doing a great job. I think most of the team has been working on it for a long time anyways, so it's not like they're doing it worse. I just think the direction's sort of changing a little bit. I will say, Kiwami 3 looks to be another kind of shittier step. Maybe sort of a sidestep or a step back, but still not on the right track. It looks like they're still prioritizing a one heat bar combat system, and they're adding in tacky stances, and they're fucking around with, not the story necessarily, but they're fucking around with characters and actors and changing faces and models. And there's obviously, all that fucking shit with the sexual assault. And it's like, okay, I hope it's good. I think the Mine story looks good. I hope that's good. I don't know if I'll play Kiwami 3. I think I will, because I think I do want to see the Mine story section. So I think I will play Kiwami 3 for that. But it worries me. I will say, I think it's my second or third I will say, but Stranger Than Paradise, or whatever that game is called, looks phenomenal. That game looks great. And I think if there's a chance all of my fears and worries are completely wiped away if Strangers in Paradise or Stranger Than Paradise or whatever it's called comes out and is just exactly what I want out of the series, like a gritty, serious tone, good story, mystery, new characters, no fucking self-referential bullshit. I think if that comes out and it's exactly what I want, then they can do whatever they want with the Yakuza series and appeal to whoever they want, I'm not saying that because I want to throw it all away, but I'm saying that as long as they know how to make a good game that appeals to me, then, not even just appeals to me. I'm not trying to make it sound like super egotistical, but if Stranger Than Paradise comes out and it is like awesome, like it's exactly what I want, then disregard whatever I've said in here. Because I know that Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is well loved by most, and I still love it a lot too. I know that Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is well loved by most, or at least some, or at least a bunch of people. And I fucking hate it. And I think it's the only one I've really been like super divisive on, besides Yakuza 3, which gets a lot of fucking hate from people who don't fucking know what they're talking about. Matter of fact, I don't want to change it. I've had it on this screen for a while. I don't want to change it right now. But anyways, disregard a lot of what I said if Stranger Than Paradise comes out and it's really good, because it shows that they can make a game that's good, and they can choose to do that, and they just choose not to, and it's not a bad thing. It's just a different path, and I'm okay with that as long as they make ones that still appeal to what I want out of the series. Anyways, that was really long-winded. This is my tier list, roughly. I mean, I think I thought about it well enough. Lost Judgment's amazing. Yakuza 2 is amazing. Yakuza 0 is my introduction to this series. Always have a soft spot for it, but it's also, one of the best games in the series as well. Kiwami, I think, is just super replayable and fun. Judgment's amazing. Only beaten by Lost Judgment just because the combat's better. I think the story is on par. Yakuza 6, just really good vibes. Just good. Like, these, I'm not going to go over it again, but really great series. And S and A tier, if you want to play all these games and not look any further, then you have, you have fucking like roughly 40 hours a game minimum times 6 plus 5. So you have 11 times 40, you have 440 hours of game at minimum. But that's probably more like 500 really. This is 500 hours of like peak content. That's crazy. So, anyways, that's my tier list. This was really long-winded. How long is this? Oh, an hour and 4 minutes. Awesome. Well, I love hearing myself talk, so this was a fun exercise. And this will get uploaded, and no one can watch it. But that's okay with me, because I did it for myself, really. Anyways, bye.